So the first memory I have of my grandfather is from an Easter Sunday church service when I was 3. Which is funny because it was probably the only church service my grandfather ever showed up to in his life. And I can't remember who convinced him to come, but I remember that the service was outside. And during the silence of the pastor's prayer, I remember this woman walked by. And with me, at 3, sitting on his knee, my half-deaf grandfather cried, "If I could get a run at that, I would ride that mother till the wheels fall off." And at that moment, nobody's head was still bowed to pray. You could have heard a dime drop into the collection plate. It was like Jesus himself stopped the church service to ask, "What the hell did you just say?" But that was my grandfather. The second oldest memory I have of him is from when I was 4. He taught me how to salsa step in sweat socks across parquet floors. I remember he taught me quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. He was a dance instructor when he was younger. Gave my brother and me a trophy once. But after that, I don't have good memories of my grandfather. See, he was an abusive alcoholic, which led to diabetes. And when the blood could no longer make its way to his toes, they cut his legs off at the knees. It's a terrible thing to see. A dancer with no feet. And by the time I turned 8 or 10, people rarely talked to him, like his friends. Didn't call him on birthdays or holidays. His children rarely spoke his name. He didn't talk to his wives past nor present. By the time I turned 16, 18, my grandfather lay dying in a hospital bed and he could barely lift a limb, and the only person who still spoke with him was my mother. She would drive my brother and I twice a year, 600 miles a trip to spend 2 days at a time with him, and I remember the last time I ever saw my grandfather alive. He said, "Some men are big enough to understand how small their existence means." But then he said, "But I'm not one of those men. I got a lot of theories on living, but I've only learned one thing. And let me be the first to say that nobody's messed up their life more than me, but it doesn't matter how broken or bad or abused we've all become, because we're all worthy of beauty. We're all worthy of something beautiful, something perfect, something pure. And it doesn't matter how far we fall in or whether or not we all brokenhearted, we all deserve to chase our own happiness until God calls us home, whether or not he caught us cursing at some Easter Sunday service. See, the only things we regret in life are the chances we're not willing to take. So when it comes to your own happiness, you let there be no room for second place. So you run after what you want until one day when they take your legs. And then you use every impulse of your energy till you no longer have the strength to lift your head. And then every morning when you wake up, you breathe. And you try not to forget what life tastes like. You try to remember the dance and hope that you can still get all them steps right. And if you find one moment of happiness in this short thing we call life, then you grab that moment, you hold that moment tight, and you ride that mother till the wheels fall off. All right.